What I'm about to show you is usually sold in paid mentorships for thousands of dollars or even in 5 figures of coachings. But today I'm giving you the entire blueprint completely for free. And this blueprint is basically based on 5 years of experience in this industry. And I'm giving this away for free. And this chatting system almost tripled my revenue last month. You'll probably see this in 2026 by also having the same or similar amount of subscribers. So grab a coffee, grab a piece of paper, take down notes. This is probably the longest video I will ever upload on YouTube. Completely raw, uncut, nothing edited, just pure value and free strategy. So let's go into it. So first of all, I will teach you, or I will say to you what will await you in this video. So first of all, we will go through, understanding the audience first, then profile structure, then setting the foundation of your chatting, then mindset of the chatting, welcome message, how to build rapport, basic chatting, then advanced chatting, and the list system we are using, then high spender techniques, mass message strategies, then CRMs we are using for automating some processes and also to make everything way easier for your employees if you're watching this as an agency, or also for your chatters if you're also a creator. Then custom lists we are using for precise price targeting, scripts and frameworks, script performance metrics that you have to consider. And at the end of the video, I will basically give you a free script that you can copy or you can give to your creator already, or what you can use for yourself if you are a creator watching this video. You can also download the PDF down below in the description. And yeah, so let's start. So first of all, we need to understand our audience. So the audience is basically men. Our main audience is just lonely men. That's just the truth, okay? There are some women as well and some transsexual people from my experience, but I would say 99% of your whole custom audience are always men. Always. Doesn't matter if you are a gay creator, if you are a women creator or whatever. There will always be men. So understand first, what do they actually want? Because when you start to understanding your customers, your target audience, then you will also have it easier to actually chat and also sell your content. So first of all, they want three things: content, a conversation, and sexting. That's it. It's really that simple. But we have to break it down more in detail. What are their pain points? We have to understand, why are they even subscribing? Why are they even there? So first of all, they are alone. They don't have any partner. They don't have a girlfriend. They don't have a wife. They don't have children. They are just men that are lonely. They don't have any clue how to talk to women, or in general how to treat women. That's why they are there. They are basically paying for the attention they are getting from the women. So, like I said, they have no girlfriends to spend time with. They have no success in dating life. Like literally no. You're probably also chatting with some virgins, men that never had sex with a woman in their life, or they are in unhappy relationships. They're not happy with their wife. They're not happy with the relationship life that they currently have. Then they are mainly not happy with the women they have. They don't have sex with their wife. It's just another good relationship between them. And we also had some customers in the past that also had, for example, a wife, they had children, but they still decided to subscribe. Why? Because the wife didn't give him enough attention. She was always complaining, and she just made his life harder than it actually is. And this is basically, what this is about. So these are the main pain points. Of course, there are more, but these are the main we want to focus on. Then, what are the needs? What do they actually want? Like I said before, attention. And with attention, I don't mean content. Attention means texting with your fan. So for example, if you're not giving someone a lot of attention, then they might lose interest. That's a simple rule. They want to get there because they don't get attention from women in real life. This is actually why they are even here. They are getting, in exchange for money, they're getting attention from women. That's why they're on OnlyFans. Then they want to get validation, confirmation. They don't get validated enough. So for example, a construction worker has a wife, has a girlfriend, whatever, but she doesn't validate him enough. She doesn't really appreciate him. And this is also what they are seeking on this platform. They are seeking validation, confirmation. They just want to feel good overall. And of course, the warmth. Like, you probably know it. If you are in a relationship, you always have this warmth, this energy, this aura of your girlfriend. You just feel good around being with her, with being her. But this is also something that the customers, your customers, actually don't have. So it basically goes hand in hand with attention, but it's still good to know what they actually want. Okay? So now we are getting to setting your foundation. We will go through everything in detail. This is just the brief overview now, okay? So the brief foundation should be, okay, the greeting when they subscribe, then qualifying questions, qualifying your customer properly so you know, okay, which path we have to go with him, then building rapport or starting to sell depends on the qualifying questions, what he answered to you, then the subtle selling, subconsciously selling, and then starting the script. This also is way earlier if you qualify this guy as someone that just wants to have the content, okay? So, important, you are selling your attention and your time. You're not selling content. Yes, of course, you sell content, but the biggest selling point or your USP is your attention, your lone attention, okay? So, there will also be people, like I said, here there will be people that are here just for sexting. There are people who are just here for having a conversation, or there's just people here that wanna quickly have a look on your profile because they were curious. So then the mindset for chatting, also very, very important when you wanna set your foundation. So first of all, you always have to treat your customers like a whale. I see this with so many creators, so many agencies. They are treating their customers like if they are nothing. I mean, you have to understand, they overcome their fear of actually paying for women's attention. Okay, that's the first thing they actually did. Then they spent money on your subscription, and now why shouldn't they be becoming a whale? Yes, there will be people that are actually not really interested in spending a lot of money, but if you start treating everyone like if he spent $1,000, trust me, your conversion from a small spender for a new subscriber to a big spender will increase by a lot. This helped us. This was a pretty good learning also last year, that we've changed in our system, that we started to treat everyone like a whale. And we increased our whale count by approximately 20% by that. Doesn't sound like a lot, but from 100 fans, if 20 of them, let's say, are whales and they're spending like 1K a month, then you are already at 20K a month by just having 20 whales on your account. 20 people. So then never negotiate your worth, okay? If you want to sell, let's say, if you want to sell a video for $100 and you don't want to undersell it, then don't do it. You will just feel bad. The fan will lose respect for you, and in the future, he will try it again and again. He will try to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and this is not a customer you want. You want a customer that spends money over time, more, and more. That is what you want. And you want to keep your frame. You want to keep your perception of your own value, okay? So when you want to send something for $100, I don't say don't sell it for 90 or 80. Yes, you can do that, of course, but I don't say sell a 3-minute video for $50. A 3-minute video for $50 that was aimed for 100. Don't do that. Or for $20. I see so many creators that are selling their bundles for $10. 6 videos. Like, this is underselling your value, and it just isn't worth for you, because the graph of basically selling your content will be basically out of order, because when people are buying something, they want more and more, and then you have to produce so much content at one time for that little amount of money that it's just not worth anymore. So never negotiate. Then, this also what I just told you here, then always stay positive. I see this with so many chatters, so many agencies, so many creators. They always go with the same. Oh, don't you like me anymore? Or am I not worth to you? Or oh, I'm so sad now I have to cry. Like, that is something from 2023, 2022. Like, this worked back then, but now OnlyFans or this industry is now almost 10 years old. Like, OnlyFans was founded in 2016 and now it's 2026. And people are already aware of this. Always stay positive. Why? This also has a certain reason. So imagine, let's go again to our customer. He is in an unhappy relationship. He comes home from work, then his wife, his girlfriend yells at him, his children are crying, negative energy all day long around him. And if he's now going to OnlyFans to actually escape from his reality, and if we are giving him the same treatment and the same energy as at home, then he will immediately jump off. He will be away faster than you can say hello. Trust me. So, in order to actually attack this pain point of him, is we are positive. If we stay positive, if we never complain, if we never say, oh, we are sad, blah, 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 then he will stay. Trust me. Of course, as you are proceeding into a relationship with him, yes, you can start doing this again, but especially at the beginning. He will just think, fuck off. I don't want to hear from you anymore. I don't know you. We haven't texted for a lot. Fuck off. I'm going to another creator. Yes. And I don't think you want his money to be spent on other creators than on you. So always be positive. So for example, if he complains about the price, then don't say, oh yeah, you don't appreciate my content, you don't appreciate my value. No, don't say that. Say instead, for example, hey, I can completely understand, but I would be so happy if you could unlock that. I've put so much effort into it. Sounds way better, right? I'm positive. I'm also motivating, okay? And this is what they want, and not the negative energy. Forget the negative energy, and trust me, by just changing this little thing in your chatting, you will actually perform better. And like I said here, be motivating. Be motivating and give him a lot of good energy. This is basically what I can say for the mindset for your chatting. Okay? So then now the second one, profile matters more than you think. A lot of creators, a lot of agencies actually think, oh yeah, fuck the profile, just the chatting. No, the chatting is essential, I agree, 100%. But if you don't have a good and a solid foundation, for example, like the profile, then you can have the best chatting in the world. If nobody texts you, then the best chatting in the world will not help you. So, and now I will give you a blueprint what you should do in order to have a great profile structure, okay? So, first of all, start with having pinned posts, okay? Pinned posts are the most important thing, since they are the first posts the people are actually seeing on your account. So, with CTAs. What are CTAs? CTAs are call to actions on your profile. So for example, hey, send me a heart emoji if you enjoyed this post, blah, 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 to claim your gift. Or send me the present emoji if you want to claim your Christmas gift. Or if you want to claim the Valentine's Day gift. Something like this. You can be very creative. You can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT to brainstorm some ideas if you want that. So, getting thirsty. So, CTAs, like I said, always have them in your pinned posts, because our goal is that we want to get as many people as possible into our private DMs, because in the private DMs, most of the money will be made. Don't think subscriptions will make you rich. No, subscriptions will never make you rich. Subscriptions are approximately just 10% of your income. 90% always comes from the private DMs. This is why we have to build our funnel to basically funnel everything into the chatting, okay? So this also means never post anything nude or anything explicit in your feed. This will just destroy the value ladder. You have to imagine it like that. The value ladder is, for example, okay, on Instagram he sees you maybe in underwear, okay? Then on OnlyFans he starts to seeing you in underwear too in some videos. But if you start to sell or to show like explicit content, like you're completely naked, then he doesn't have any reason left to actually purchase anything in the private DMs because everything was already shown in your feed. We want to keep it exclusive. We want to sell it as something exclusive. That's why it works so good. So the next thing that's not here on the presentation, but never show anything explicit in your feed. Always do this in the private DMs. I will come to this later, how you can sell explicit content properly later in this video. So then CTS in general, send me this emoji to claim your gift. Just an example now, okay? Then the next important thing is daily feed posts. And I don't say, okay, post a feed post of yourself, no. If you're doing the same content as on Instagram, you can just also not post and it won't make a difference. You have also to post unique content that is more explicit than on Instagram. And it shouldn't be, for example, a selfie from that angle on Monday and from that angle on Tuesday. The content shouldn't be too similar. It should always be something new. You have to basically always get some variety into your profile. Variety means, for example, okay, you have to, this time, okay, you can post a selfie. Then on this, you have a gym slideshow, then cooking, then in your bed, then in the bathroom. Like, you should basically take your fan, your customer, to like a journey that he can actually follow. So he actually feels a part of your life. This is what we want actually, okay? Then OnlyFans stories. This is something what actually nobody is doing. Like OF stories is something that helped us to increase our open chat rate approximately by 30%. Just because we've posted stories. It's the same as on Instagram. If you never post stories on Instagram, then you will also have a hard time to build a community, right? If you're only posting reels. So also start posting OnlyFans stories. What type of content are OnlyFans stories? OnlyFans stories are basically selfies, can be explicit content. It should be on the same level from explicitity than your OnlyFans feed. And make sure to post 1 or 2 times daily. Like I said, you need to have a progression from Instagram to your funnel to your OnlyFans. Like I said before, if you don't have a progression, people won't come into the DMs. Imagine this, okay? You are actually seeing someone or an attractive woman on your Instagram reel page, right? And she's already showing herself in underwear there. And then you're subscribing to her profile, you spend maybe $6, and then you see literally the same content or even less. I also saw creators who showed less than on Instagram. Then of course I will be disappointed and I will never text her again because my first impression was basically ruined, okay? Then the bio. Also, the bio is very important. So for example, if you are a goth, if you are a gamer girl or whatever, then tell more about your life. Don't say what you're selling, because I see so many bios from creators where they say, hey, I offer this and that and that, and I do boy-girl content for $200, whatever. Yes, that's okay, but there's like no personality in it. You have to add personality to your bio. I will also, at the end of the video, I will show you an example of a bio, what you can use. You have just to adjust it here a little bit, that will convert pretty good. And also having some call to actions in your bio. Like I said, we have to work with a lot of call to actions. Then banner and profile picture. Here it's important to show off, okay, what are actually good at. If you're a creator who has big breasts, then show this off in your banner and in your profile picture. This matters more than you think. If your profile before you subscribe looks excellent, I will give you my word, you will have so many more subscribers than usual. A lot of creators are actually not paying attention to this because they think, oh yeah, that's okay, I just put a anime or just a landscape picture of something in the internet I found. No, that's not good. Show your body, show yourself from the best side possible. Use good angles. Look as attractive as possible. You can also, for example, edit it with FaceApp, with Peachy, or with Nano Banana Pro, for example. Nano Banana Pro is a pretty good image video editing tool, so I can just recommend it to you. And also, very, very basic that we tested out and actually worked wonders is we told our subscribers, hey, you can actually text us. I am happy to receive messages from you. And somehow we had more open chats than before, just by implementing this in the pinned posts or in the bio, for example. So try this tip and let me know if this actually helped you. But this is about a proper profile structure now, okay? So if you're following all of this, I will guarantee you will first of all make more subscribers and you will have a better relationship to them. You will better qualify them. You will attract more high quality customers. And if you attract more high quality customers, then you will also have it easier to actually sell your content, right? So now we have the welcome message. Yes, I said we are not doing any cuts, but I just got a call from someone, that's why. So do not use the welcome message function option from OnlyFans. Why? The problem is here that if you're using that, the subscriber will immediately get a welcome message once he subscribes. And that's not good because it already feels generated, like auto-generated, and it's not what we want. So for example, you can use Create a Hero or you can use Only Monster to create sequences. You can also add a delay, for example, like 2 minutes after you subscribed, it will send a welcome message. You can do this in sequences because if you're only just sending one welcome message, then it also sounds too generated. Then, for example, here, 4 sequences looks so much more authentic, looks so much more real, and you actually really think, hey, she just wrote that, okay? And by the way, I'm not advertising any CRM here. This is just the experience what I've made. Then, immediately start selling. Yes, I said before, or at the beginning of the video, build rapport. But there will be some people who are actually not interested in building rapport, but more to that later, okay? Personalize. If you are qualifying the person that he wants to build rapport, you have to personalize your chatting. You have to be as much personal as possible. Like I said before, there are actually also people who just want to sext, who just want to get curious and look at your profile, and who want to have actual relationship, okay? And follow-ups. So if you happen to get ghosted by your fans, then also follow-up matter a lot. So you can also, for example, do manual follow-ups. You can do them by yourself, or you can also use Create a Hero or Only Monster or Inflow for that. I think, but only Create a Hero has this function, that they will automatically follow up the fans when they ghosted you. So, and also by having regular follow-ups, we also noticed an increase of 15 to 20% in more open chats and also more sales. Okay, now building rapport. This is the basic chatting part now, okay? What actually means building rapport? So first of all, the very first important thing is you have to mirror his language. So for example, if he uses a lot of slangs, if he uses, for example, British people who use this X, use this as well, okay? Always mirror their language. If they're more of a Gen Z type of language, then try to be more Gen Z. If they're more the boomer generation, then try to be more professional, less mistakes, no slangs and so ever. You have to mirror the language because people in general, the humans, love to talk to their mirrors, like to talk to their own personality. That's why you see people hang out a lot, because they're so similar, because they love to be friends with people who are similar to their own selves. So always mirror their language. Then share same or similar interests. I don't say, if he says, hey, I love going to fish, then don't say, yeah, I love fishing too. Because if you're, for example, a teenage girl, or if you are like that's 19 or 20, please don't do this business if you're under 18. Never do this, okay? But if you're over 18, for example, a teenage girl, a goth girl, whatever, let's say a goth girl, okay? Then you can say I love fishing yourself, because it's a little bit unauthentic. You can say, for example, hey, yeah, I always was interested in having a look at that, but my dad never took me in the past. For example, this already builds connection, and you do also future selling by saying, hey, maybe you can do this for me in the future. Future selling also a very important part I will cover later in this video. Then write down notes. Every single fan needs to have his own notes. So, for example, because like I said at the beginning, if he's a potential whale, we need as many information as possible from him. So, if he fishes, say his hobby is fishing, how old is he? What job is he doing? What is in general? What is he doing? What are his interests? What are his hobbies? Write everything down. You can also use from Only Monster or for Creator Hero. They have an AI generated persona that basically generates a fan persona of this particular fan from the past conversations. So nowadays, like 3-4 years ago, it was pretty difficult because AI wasn't that popular and it wasn't that advanced. But now you can actually use the functions from these two CRMs, for example. Then stick to one topic and ask questions about that. So for example, if he talks a lot about fishing, then stick to this topic. Don't hop from topic to topic. So for example, if he says, I started fishing when I was 7 years old, for example, then ask him, okay, what made him starting fishing? Why did he start it? Or what was his first thought at the beginning? Or how was his first year of fishing? Or who did he go with always? Just stick to this topic, dig deeper into the topic, because this shows interest. This shows genuine interest for him, and this is what counts. If he feels genuinely appreciated, and if he feels that you actually are interested in about his life, then he will also build more trust with you and a deeper relationship, which will help you to close the sale at the end of the day. So, validation. Also, give him validation. For example, let's go back to the fishing example. If he says, hey, I go fishing, then also give him validation for that. Hey, I actually appreciate it a lot that are still men that are having actually hobbies. So many men nowadays are on their phones, they're at home, they're not doing anything with their life, but there are still men like you that actually follow what they want. This is, for example, what you can say. Give them validation, give them actually confirmation so they can feel good. People want to feel good. And give him free value. I don't mean just content. I also mean giving a lot of attention. Yes, free content, I will also come later to this in this video. Giving free value means, okay, giving him the attention, giving him or sending him some free teasers, some free pictures, maybe how you're just drinking a coffee right now or how you're reading a book. This is already giving free value. And the most important thing, don't sell too fast, please. Never do this. Because if you're selling too fast, you will break his trust. And as we know in business, trust is everything. Your product can be the best in the market. But if there's no trust, nobody will buy from you. If there is a lot of trust and your product is a complete disaster, people will still buy it. That's the crazy thing about it. So don't sell too fast. You have to actually use your emotional intelligence here, your gut feeling, but this will come over time. You will actually feel when it's the right time to actually close the sale or to actually start a script or not. But I will also come to this later in this video, how you can actually transition from building rapport to having your first sale. Okay? So, next. Then, while building rapport, profiling their income. Why is this so important? When you start profiling the income, you can actually find out, okay, how much is he actually ready to spend. So for example, if you have someone that is a student that is very young, from 18 to 23, 24, 25, then they most likely don't have any money. Like the people with the big money are the people from 30 plus or 40 plus. So look out for things like, okay, what cars do they drive? What do they do a lot of vacations? Do they have, for example, what do they do in their free time? And if he says, okay, I'm in tech, I'm in finance, or I have my own company, or I'm in the Wall Street, I'm a banker, whatever, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, then you can know, okay, this guy has a lot of money, he gets a good salary, so you can also profile him a little bit and also estimate, okay, how much you can actually sell to him. So for example, but of course, don't do this too obvious. You have to do this in a subconscious way, like I said here. For example, if he says, I work a lot, then don't say, oh, are you a banker, or are you a doctor, are you an engineer? No. Say, for example, oh, what keeps you busy all day? You have to do it with an excuse. And then you will actually find out, okay, what he actually is doing. And then by profiling his life, his income, you can basically adjust your pricing. So for example, you can't sell the first video, or let's say you can't sell the last video for $200 for a student, but you can do this for a self-employed guy that has his own company, or most likely, because he has the money available. Or for a construction worker. Construction workers also have a lot of money, for example. So adjust your prices based on their income. Okay? So this is the next. And then we have also this again. Basic chatting, also very important rule to understand is that 80% of your revenue on your account will be generated by big spenders, by returning customers, and not by new fans. Yes, of course, having new customers is important. Very important in every business. Doesn't matter if it's OnlyFans, if it's a SaaS business, if it's a e-com business, whatever. New people are always the most important one. But returning customer, loyal customers are the most important one. Why is Apple so successful? Because they have a loyal fan base. They have a loyal customer base. So many people buy the new iPhone every year. And I think Apple makes about 70% of their revenue or even more from returning customers and not from new customers. So why shouldn't you do the same? Why shouldn't you do the same principle? Because there are not infinite amount of people in this world. So try to maximize the revenue from people that are already on your profile. But I will tell you exactly in this video, don't worry, how you can do that. So now from the first building rapport to the first sale, okay? So disclaimer here, very important, do this slowly. Don't do this too fast. It's so important. Why? So here, first of all, the bridge. We have to move from friendly to flirty. So for example, we have to ask some questions. Asking questions is also very important. You're basically the leader in the conversation. You want to sell something, you're the salesman. So for example, if you have talked now, and then you can transition, for example, if he says, hey, I just came home from, or I'm now driving home from work. This is, for example, something he tells you. Then what you can do is, what would you do if you just came home from work and I'm waiting for you with a meal on our table, for example, in my gym shorts and in my gym top. Okay, this wasn't the best idea now, but this just came straight from my head. Okay, and if you're doing that, and then you start by sexualizing the situation, storytelling, very, very important here. Okay, so ask spicy questions and give him a subconscious hint. Don't stay in the friend zone. Very, very important. You need to guide him. You are the salesman here. Okay. Storytelling again. You need to do teasers. So, for example, if we stick to the scenario before, like I just said, that you are waiting for him in the gym shorts, then, for example, prepare a photo for him in your wallet where you're in your gym shorts and you're serving him food, for example. We want to tell stories. We want to sell stories. We don't want to sell content. We want to sell stories. And the goal is always the transaction, like the first pay-per-view, okay? So, when writing the first pay-per-view captions, for example, for example, the first teasers, always describe slightly what's happening there, okay? What's happening there. Don't be too detailed because then this will take away the curiosity, all right? But more to that in the next slides. So, also very important for chatting, acknowledge and escalate, right? This is also when it comes to transitioning from the first building rapport to the first sale, okay? We need, or how this technique basically works is we need to adjust or we need to acknowledge what the fan says. Here I already have a example ready. So for example, if he says, I had a tough day at work, then you say, oh no, a tough day, I'm sorry to hear that, tell me more. This is basically, first of all, acknowledging. Always acknowledge what they say. So for example, if you're texting with a friend of yours and you're saying, hey, I had a very hard day today, blah, blah, blah. And he actually never acknowledged that. So for example, he just says, do you want to do something today? And then you will think, what the fuck? I just said to him that I had a tough day today and he's not even asking why. Then you will also feel a little bit weird, you know? And once acknowledge the statement, you will escalate and you will basically escalate it, okay? And then you say, for example, oh no, you had a tough day, I'm sorry to hear that, tell me more. Maybe I can help you unwind it later. That sounds intense. Perhaps I can show you something special that will make you forget about it. That's so easy. Just acknowledge. For example, if he says, oh, I love your ties, I love how big they are, they're so attractive. Then you can say, I'm curious how you will react if I try to put your head between my thighs. I acknowledged and I escalated completely. It's actually so easy, but it needs dedication and focus. And if you have a lot of fans, if you have a lot of creators, then of course you can't do it on your own. You have to do it, or your employees, your chatters have to do that. And you have to profile them. You have to exactly profile them and train them to do that. So for example, you can also show your employees, your chatters, if you're a creator, agency, whatever, you can show them this video, and this video will be more than enough to actually give them the training that's necessary. So that's the acknowledge and escalate technique. And then again, basic chatting. Also some important things to mention as well is always have scripts ready when you start to sell. Always have something ready in your vault, at least 2 to 3 scripts in different settings. So for example, coming home from work, coming home from the gym, sauna time, pool time, whatever. But don't worry, I will give you a script framework how you can build your own scripts at the end of the video, and also in the description down below there are some documents with with already finished written scripts that I use for my creators in my agency that you can copy for your creators as well. Of course, they are a little bit adjusted, so they're not one-on-one the same. And yeah, so always have 2 to 3 scripts ready in your vault. And then as well, pre-written captions. I will also go more into detail later. Sort your vault. So if you're looking at this here, this is the vault of one of our new models here. We have here 3 scripts ready already. And we also made some structure here. So for example, we are using emojis. We are using everything in uppercase letters. And we are also telling, okay, is it actually a daytime or a nighttime script? And this will also give yourself, and this will give your employees so much more overview, and they will have it so much easier to actually look for the content. So for example, imagine you will be a chatter. How or what needs the agency, or what needs to be on the profile so you can work as much effective as possible? And this is basically then the answer for you. As much effective as possible to have a clear vault, to have a sorted vault with the settings of the script, with the daytime or the nighttime, and then for example master reviews, then content for inactive spenders, striptease, titty pictures, videos, and so on and so on. For every category, feed videos, breast videos, everything. It can be everything. So sort everything after each category, or boy-girl videos, girl-girl videos, solo videos, for example, or playing content, whatever. Sort everything after each category. Yes, I know it takes time, but you will thank yourself later when you have a lot of traffic and when you have a lot of people actually, or when you have a lot of people actually buying your content, okay? Then also reply fast. Why replying fast? Imagine you would be someone that is actually now at the OnlyFans profile. You want to jerk off basically, okay? And if it takes forever, if it takes 5 or 10 minutes to reply, then you will lose him immediately. Because if you wanna have fun with yourself and you have to wait for 5 minutes for a reply, then basically this horniness level will drop down very quickly. So it's so important to reply very quick, as quickly as possible. What we say to our employees, or what we have, our golden standard in our agency, we have at least under 1 minute reply time in our agency. How you can track these metrics? Only Monster, Inflow, Creator Hero. You can use all of these softwares. Pretty good. Okay, so always reply fast when chatting and when selling, and also have a clear price ladder. Write it down. Okay, for the first video, this should be this amount. For the second pay-per-view, this should be this amount. For the last video, it should be this amount. So for example, what we're doing is, okay, first of all, we're sending free teasers, pics, or videos, 45 seconds. Then the first pay-per-view with 4 pictures, 1 video, and to $10 to $15. Second pay-per-view for $30 to $40. Then the third pay-per-view for $60 to $70. Then a freebie video to heat him up for the last one, and the last one $100 to $120. That's basically an example of a price ladder from one of our scripts that we are using. So you can basically use it as well. So you probably ask yourself, why am I basically giving so much content? Also, one important mindset is that we always want to over deliver. We want to stand out amongst all of the creators here. And if you're only sending out a video, then the chances you will buy it will be so much lower than usual, because we want to give him the feeling that he actually made a good deal. So for example, if he gets a video, 1 minute and 4 pictures for $10, then this is a no-brainer for him. We have to make our offer so good that the people will feel stupid to say no. By the way, this is also a quote that I have from Alex Hormozi, but you can also apply this for our industry as well. So make your offer so good that your customers will feel stupid to say no. Okay, and you have to basically apply this for everything. But don't be predictable. This is also where a lot of creators and agencies run into. They are getting predictable. If every pay-per-view bundle is the same, if every pay-per-view bundle is 1 video and 4 pictures, it will become predictable. And this is the biggest killer ever, because then it will feel scripted, and this is not what we want. We want to sell the illusion. It's actually in real time. It was sold, or it was basically filmed in real time, and it was not pre-recorded, because if they know it's pre-recorded, then they will actually feel or they won't be ready to spend as much money as it was real. And this is actually based on real data. Okay, so always try to make it unpredictable. So then we are at the advanced chatting. So advanced chatting, okay, some techniques that you can use for your chatting system. Aftercare. Aftercare, maybe you have heard of this if you're an agency or an established creator already, but I will tell it for the beginners here. So aftercare is something where you're giving your fan a lot of attention after he bought a full script. What is this full script? This full script is basically, okay, he spent now, let's say, $200 on you. And now your job is to fight against the post-nut clarity, because post-nut clarity is the biggest enemy for us. Because if you're a man watching this video, if you had your semen going out, I can't say the word now, then you will basically think, fuck, what did I just do? You will feel very guilty, and you will feel very bad. And in order to fight this feeling, in order to fight this reality check that all men are getting, we have to give them so much attention. We have to overflow them with emotions. We have to overflow them with attention. Just by doing that, we will basically fight this feeling. Yes, we can't actually do this for everyone, because there will be some people who are still deleting their account and who still won't come back, but we are making the best out of the situation. So give him as much attention as possible. Text with him as long as possible, okay? You should not be the one to enter conversation. Don't say, hey, I'm going to sleep now, bye-bye. Don't say that. He has to say that. He has to enter conversation, because if he ends it, then it means we've made a good job and he doesn't regret his decisions, okay? Then also, one thing that helped us a lot is when we sent him a gift. A gift, for example, is after 24 hours after the purchase, or after he sold, or after he purchased at least 3 pay-per-views in the bundle, or $80, he gets a gift. Or after 12 hours, he gets a gift in his private DM. So for example, a free nude video, a free picture that he can actually use, that we can actually use to send him to express again how thankful we are and how grateful we are that he spent time with us. Also, small tip for aftercare, just stick to small talk with him about some topics, just give him attention and have a conversation going on. And if he gets a gift, a freebie, very important that it's a freebie, after 12 hours, then you feel much more appreciated again. And this will increase our chances again to actually keep the customer as long as possible. And let's say, just from this gesture, we are getting 5 more spenders. This means at least a few $1,000s a month by just doing this. This can also be done by you, by one of your employees, or whatever. Then daily spender chatting. Daily spender chatting is also very important, that you text them daily. Like I said, if you have a partner, if you have a boyfriend, if you have a girlfriend, whatever, then you also want to be in touch with a partner every day, right? And if you don't do that, and if you missed one day, that's already not very good. Because then you will think, hey, she doesn't actually care about me. Because when my girlfriend doesn't text me for a day, I think, hey, what's going on? Did I do something wrong? And then I will getting dobs. And that's not what we want, okay? So it can just be a selfie. It can just be, hey, I was just thinking about you. Can we chat for a second? I really miss chatting with you, for example. Then stop selling scripts. Yes, this sounds very, very weird, but let me explain why you need to stop selling scripts. You need to transition from selling scripts to selling the girlfriend experience. Yes, everyone says sell the girlfriend experience, but nobody tells you what this actually is. So let me tell you now. So instead of purchasing scripts, we will now go to this strategy where he starts to pay, for example, for the rent, or helps to pay, or for your nails, for the groceries, or for something you want to do. And in exchange for a custom video. So for example, what you can do is, hey, my bathtub broke, or my shower is not working anymore, and I can't pay the bills on my own. Can you maybe help me out or can you maybe tip me $200 and I will give you a custom video in exchange, for example. And then we start to sell the experience and not the content anymore, if you know what I mean. And you can't always just sell scripts when you have a relationship with someone. Of course, you have to still do it, but you have to get a good mix of selling the experience. Like, for example, like I just said, hey, can you help me paying my nails or my lashes or whatever, and so on and so on. And of course, scripts as well, because this is not for everyone. Like, there will be still some high spenders and whales that don't want to have this experience. There will also be whales, what we had in the past, that spent over $10,000 in a few months and that just wanted scripts. He just wanted to have scripts. And we also had someone that was subscribed for one day and he spent $3,000. And there was nothing with relationship building, nothing. He just wanted to see content and that's it. So this is not for everyone. You have to be, like I said at the beginning of this video, you have to be individual with every fan you have. Not everyone wants the same. Be individual with every customer. So that's about this. Then, girlfriend experience examples again, upsell techniques. So, like I said, we don't just want to sell scripts. We also want to sell the experience. So, for example, like I just said, personalized help requests. So, for example, hey, I need to repair my bathtub. Can you please help me paying for the reparation costs? Or, hey, I'm short in rent. Can you please help me paying for the rent? Then, for example, you can also, for like I just said, for nails, and in exchange for all of that, I don't say make a custom video for him if he pays for your nails. No, it should never always be I give you a custom video if you're tipping me for nails. No, if it's a big amount of money, for example, if he says, yeah, I need $600 for paying my rent, then you can do a custom video. Okay, of course, but don't say it from the beginning. For example, after you tipped, sorry, you can say, hey, I'm so thankful for that. You just saved my life. I really want to make you happy. In exchange, I want to give you a free custom video. And then you basically exchange the $600 with the custom video, okay? And we want to cultivate the boyfriend role. We want to give him the feeling that he's in the protector role, that he's providing for you. And by making him do things like this, for example, you can basically let him feel like the boyfriend, the provider, and this is what the men want. This is also what I forgot to mention at the beginning. Men want to be the provider, they want to be the protector, and by having or by doing things like this, what I just said, you can basically give him this feeling. You have to systemize this process in order to actually see results. Because if you're just doing this out of your head, write this down. If you're an agency or a creator, whatever, write all of this down. I also have written down every single process of my how we actually get spenders. I wrote this down in a single document, and you should do this as well. Okay. So now back to the aftercare part. After you sold a script, okay, aftercare is the most important thing when it comes to that. And there are more advanced techniques now how you can give the best aftercare possible. And my throat gets pretty dry now because I'm talking for almost 1 hour straight. So first of all, gratitude and confirmation. So really overflood him with emotions, hearts, everything. And also refer to some previous parts of the conversation. So for example, if he said before that he loves to go fishing, then he can say, oh, I can't wait to go fishing with you in the future. You're my man, whatever. This is what you can do as well. This also helped us a lot to improve the aftercare process. Then also open a feedback loop. So for example, get some feedback from him. Get feedback from your subscriber. What did he actually enjoy? What did he actually like the most? Because based on this feedback, you can also adjust your scripts, you can adjust your content and make it even better for your audience. Because your customers are the ones who know what the content is, what they want, and not you. Always get feedback from the market and not from yourself. Don't think, hey, yeah, I think this is a good idea, that it will be actually a good idea. Because the market can actually think, no, this is not a good idea, this is actually pretty shit. Always adjust your marketing, your chatting, like everything, especially in the chatting from your fans. Write everything down when you get feedback from them. Write down, okay, if he says, I like this angle a lot, and if you get this feedback a lot, then write this down and do this in the next time for your scripts. Okay? Future selling. Also, very, very important thing is when you want to do future selling also open up this opportunity that he comes back again, because then he sees a future with you. And this is basically what we want. We want him to stay as long as possible on your account by doing future selling. Like I said before, you can say, hey, I can't wait to do this with you again. I can't wait to try out this toy, or this or that with you in the future. And by telling this will go into his mind, and he will always remember this in his head, that she actually, or you in this case, that you actually want to try this again with him, okay? And do personalized follow-ups. For example, if he ended the conversation on the next day, do some personalized follow-ups. So if you were talking about some previous topics before, like say fishing again or like video games, then refer to this topic, because the more individual, the more personalized you are, the better it actually is. Because then he won't feel that he's one out of many. No, then he will feel that he's actually one out, or he's a very, very special customer. And this is what we wanna do. So now we have the list system, because without a proper list system, you won't identify your spenders and you can't retain them because you won't find them, okay? So you can use a Creator Hero, for example. You can use Only Monster or Inflow to actually create this type of lists. Because if you're doing it manual, it will just be a pain in the ass and it will take forever to sort it out. These softwares that I just mentioned, they will do it automatically based on the spending. So for example, this is our system, what we are using. You can do it individually, of course. So for example, we have the whales. We have whales that people that spend over $1,000 will come into this list, right? Then we have the high spenders. They come into this list after they spend over $500. Then the normal spenders, the big spenders, over $100. Then we have the open chats. Open chats are basically people we just chatted with, but more to that later, why this list is so important. And time wasters, people who repeatedly didn't unlock your content, who just want free content or cheap content, okay? Unfortunately, there's no automation as of now that will put these people automatically there, so you have to do it manual. And here, this open chat list can also be done by a creator, for example. So, then, high spender techniques again, before we are continuing here with the list system. For high spenders, when you have created all of these lists now, then you also want to maintain these spenders. Here are some techniques our system or we are using as well. So, emotional investment. So, for example, if we have someone that is a big spender now, he purchased a full script and now you want to convert him into a big spender. So for example, you can give him some small homework tasks. For example, he can send you, let's say, some photos of his daily life. He can send you some selfies of him, or he can also tell you more about his day. This is some of the small homeworks you can give to him. And when you're doing that, then what you will do is you basically give him emotional investments. And if he starts to get emotionally invested into you, then he will be more attached to you and it will be harder for him to actually forget you, okay? Or for example, what you can also do is you can say to him, hey, I would be so happy if you could send me a good morning and a good night message every day. Also a small little homework. And this becomes a habit for him. Or what you can do is he should put your profile picture or one of your posts or a special picture as his phone background. And then every time he opens his phone, he actually sees you. And very important is when you are giving him tasks like this, or if you're sending him content, it should be exclusive to him. Don't show any of that content on Instagram. Don't show any of this content on your OnlyFans feed. It should be very exclusive to him always, okay? So, then mass message strategies. Why this is so important, and now I will explain to you why the open chat list is so important. So, what mass message strategies are we actually using? So, first of all, we are segmenting all of our audience. Like I just said, we are creating these lists. So, for example, we are always excluding the whales, the big spenders, the high spenders, OC list, and time wasters. These 5 will always be excluded. They will be, for example, the spenders will always be individually messaged. They are being messaged individually and not by a mass message. And the normal people who are between all of these segments, they will be basically targeted or messaged by an OnlyFans mass message or how is it called? The online mass message from Creator Hero, okay? Because the people who are between the time wasters and the spenders, these are the people who we want to sell to and who we want to convert to the high spenders. That's why we are targeting these people, and that's why you need the open chats, because open chats are basically people who we chatted with recently. So for example, what we're doing is we're putting these people from the last 180 minutes, 3 hours that we chatted with. Because imagine, you're in the middle of a conversation with someone and then you're randomly getting a mass message that doesn't have anything to do with the conversation. It will come across very weird, automated, and it's not what we want, okay? So, do this, okay? Use the OC list as well for this. Exclude these people. So, again, to repeat, exclude all of the spenders, time wasters, and OC list. Then, mass pay-per-views. So, we are sending mass pay-per-views to people, for example, to time wasters and to no spenders. People who never spend anything and time wasters. And we're sending mass pay-per-views to them 3 times a week, for example. But it depends a lot on what or how big the model is. For example, if the model is a small creator and she doesn't have a lot of fans, then doesn't make sense, because then we're focused on building more relationships. But if you have a big creator who is making over $100,000 a month, then I would do even more than 3 times a week. I would do it basically daily, because you're getting so many fans in daily that it would be stupid to not do it, okay? Then also optimize timing and frequency. So sending messages always when the audience is the most active. So also write this down, track this down. When is your audience the most active? So if your audience is the most active at 1 p.m. US time, then send 1 hour before, for example. Or if they are more active in the nighttime, for example, if you're a gamer girl, then your audience are probably a lot of nerds. And nerds are active in night. So it makes more sense to send out a mass message in the nighttime than during the day. Okay? And also try to understand what actually works the best. What type of mass message works the best. So for example, if selfies are working the best, then use selfies. If voice messages work the best, do this. Start optimizing. Start what is the winning pattern? What is the winning for you? What is actually working for you? And don't copy other creators, because for other creators, something else might work, what for you doesn't work, okay? So track everything, write everything down, what works for you, and then you can start optimizing from there. And always have something value added. So for example, value can be, it should be funny, it should be, it should make them curious, it should give them, for example, a free teaser, a voice message, or whatever. Always have something that stands out from the others, because nobody's sending out mass messages as a voice message, for example. Nobody's doing that. Or memes, for example. Nobody is doing that. But don't do this every day. Don't become too predictable. If you become predictable, then your reply rate will drastically sink. This is also what we've noticed. If once we become predictable, our reply rate always was sinking and decreasing. So don't give them a pattern. So for example, in the first week, you're doing 5 normal mass messages. On the weekend, you're doing 2 voices. Then next week, you're just doing 1 voice on Wednesday, for example. Just be very unpredictable, and then your mass messages will perform pretty good. Then, now we are here at the management and the tools and the CRMs we are using. So, we are using, for example, Creator Hero or Only Monster. They are allowing us to automate a lot of the processes, like I just said. For example, the segmentation for spenders, high spenders, no spenders, and so ever. Then automatic welcome message that will help you to make everything more authentic. Then, for example, also sending automated message to people who have to renew their subscription, or for example, whose subscription are expired. So all of these small processes can be automated with CRMs like this. And like I said, I'm not getting paid. I don't have any ref link for any of these tools. I'm just telling you my personal opinion and what you should use for yourself, okay? And also, you can use online mass message. You can do more precise targeting for mass pay-per-views. Like I just said, you can, for example, send mass pay-per-views for a certain price only to low spenders, then to spenders who spend only between $10 or $20, then spenders who only spend between 50 and 100, and so on and so on. You can do this with all of the tools I just mentioned, okay? And you can also identify with a heat map when is your audience active the most. So using a CRM is basically a no-brainer. So if you're an agency and a creator, and if you don't use a CRM, you're basically using 50% of your revenue. Trust me, by starting to use a CRM properly, you will have a revenue increase. So now we are coming to the topic how we can maximize retention and the lifetime value of your customers. So first of all, building deeper connections. Like I just said, you have to build rapport with everyone who wants. Like I just said, there are people who are not interested in building rapport. Yes, then don't do it for them. Only do it as good as possible with people who want. And also try to understand who is your audience. What is your customer avatar? I also give you a template of a customer avatar, how you can write it down. So for example, find out who are they, how old are they, what are their interests, what are they doing in their free time, because the more you know about your customer, the deeper the connection can be. Then optimize your fan value. Try to turn inactive spenders. Yes, you will have people who stop replying to you. You will have people for no reason that won't spend any money. So for these people, we also developed a strategy. For example, we're turning them back into active spenders, for example, by sending them freebies or free trials. For example, we've did this for big spenders who spend over $1,000. We offered them like a 3 months free trial and some free content, and they started to reply again, and they resubscribed, and they started to spend money again because we gave them a lot of free value. So for example, you can also see this with when you're buying products. For example, they're giving you freebies. They're giving you like how do I say it? They're giving you discount for some of the products. Like all of the successful companies, they try to bring you back, because once someone bought from you, once someone already is a customer from you, you have it so much easier, because there was one thing from the very start that he liked about your product, and that's why he even spent money for you. Okay, so don't sleep on inactive spenders. And consistent aftercare and gratitude. So consistently appreciate them, consistently give them a lot of attention, and consistently express how thankful you are that they are subscribed to you. Also, sometimes just send them free content out of nowhere, just to surprise them a little bit and to express how thankful you are for them. So then again, to the custom subscribers list, to actually find out who are actually inactive spenders, because this can be pretty hard, especially if there are a lot of them, pretty hard to filter out. So for example, we are using Creator Hero for this for creating like inactive spender lists. So you can, for example, use or actually make a setting where you say, hey, I want everyone to be included in this list who hasn't replied to me in 14 days and who has spent over $1,000 in the last 30 days, for example. Okay, and then the software will put everything or everyone who matched this criteria into this list. Then also you can put, with only months of the CRMs, you can put people into the no spender list who never spent a single cent with you. And of course, the low and the mid spender, based on their spending habit, the softwares will also do the segmentation for you there. So I can highly recommend to you that you're using a CRM, like I just said. So now coming to the customer avatar, like I just said, build your own custom avatar, because building your own custom avatar will help you to build deeper relationships and to increase your customer lifetime value, and also to keep as many people as possible. So how can you actually do that? By asking your big spenders, what do they like about you? By asking your big spenders, what do they actually see on the For You page? What kind of content do they consume? Asking them how old are they, most of them, what do they do, and everything. You can also use Gemini or ChatGPT for brainstorming, and they will actually help you. So find out how old is the average person in your target audience. What is their motivation? What are their desires? What do they look for? What are the spending habits? What jobs do they have? So for example, if you are a goth girl, then you will probably have people that are also more like you. So people, they will probably not work in construction. So what are their spending habits? What is their communication style? Do they use a lot of slangs? Do they more have professional wording, or do they have more of a Gen Z wording? Do they have more of a boomer wording, or whatever? So for example, if you are a creator that's a little bit older, for example in the 30s and the 40s, you will probably have some Gen Z people that are just into older women. So you have to adjust your style to have a more Gen Z language, okay? Then what are their content preferences? So for example, if you're a goth creator watching this, or if you are an agency focusing on goth creators, then more dominant content will be the content preference, because people who are actually into goth girls want to be dominated. So have your content style more in a dominate style, okay? Write this out, and for example, use Miro.com to actually build a mind map of everything, to actually create your own custom avatar, okay? So now we are coming to the script framework. So script framework is basically how you should build up your own script. So your own script is basically, this will basically the script that you will sell to everyone. So how does this work? How does a script actually work? A script is basically like a setting, a story you're selling to your fans. So for example, you are selling, you just came home from the gym, okay? So you start, for example, with a free teaser. Always start with a free teaser to hit him up. Okay. And then we have the first pay-per-view. This is, for example, don't show too much. The first pay-per-view can be, for example, just you playing with your breasts and being topless, okay? Slow progression until you're naked. This can be sold, for example, $10. Then always have freebies in between, just to keep him in the loop and just to keep him hooked. Then, for example, second pay-per-view. The second pay-per-view can be, for example, where you're undressing your pants, but you don't show anything there. You're just undressing your pants. We just want to have a slow progression. And then you start charging more because the videos get longer and because you are starting to show more. This is how effective upselling basically works. Third pay-per-view, okay, you start going down with your fingers, but you still don't show anything, but the video is longer and you show more again. Then you can charge more money. You always have to justify a higher price with a longer video and with more progression. And then in the fourth video, for example, you start fingering and you can see more. And then in the fifth, you are starting to have, for example, you're finishing with him together, and then you can basically charge him up to $200, for example, because it's a 5-minute video and you are showing the most explicit part of your body, if you know what I mean. So this is basically the script framework you should follow. And always have aftercare videos. For example, aftercare videos can be a video, for example, you 1 minute talking to him, hey, I'm so grateful for you, thank you so much, this made me feel so good, this made me feel so great. You can use something like this, for example, okay? And this will also, again, increase your customer lifetime value. So, bonus tip, when having scripts or when writing scripts, always have pre-written captions for every pay-per-view we have, because this will save you, first of all, a lot of time. And if you have a lot of fans, if you have a lot of traffic as a creator, then it will also, again, save you time as well, because you don't have to waste time by writing a caption. You already have a pre-written caption that was written when you had a lot of focus and when you weren't in a rush, for example. Then also analyze in detail what works the best, what script works the best, what setting, what angle, what light, what outfit, what body part works the best. Analyze, analyze, analyze. And then you will get multiple puzzle pieces basically that you can stick together, and then you will have the golden script, the perfect script based on your audience, what the audience enjoys the most, and this will get you most of the money. Track your script performance with a Google Sheet, with a software like Inflow Creator or whatever. But the most important thing is here that you need to keep track of your numbers. And if you want to have our tracking sheet we use, then just DM me on Instagram with the word sheet and I will send it to you completely for free. So, in order to give you a little bit of insight, okay, what is actually important when writing a script or when selling a script? So, everything that is under 60% needs attention, because everything under 60% is not performing well. So, analyze in depth, okay, at which pay-per-view do most of the people jump off? Or at which stage? So, 60% is acceptable, is fine. 65% is pretty good already, and everything over 70% is excellent. But don't track your progress by only selling 5 pieces and you have only 60%. This doesn't say anything. Or if you have over 70% and you only sold it 10 times, this doesn't say anything. Sell it at least 100 times to get real-time data. Very important. So, next. Then, key performance indicators for the chatting. Also, keep track of your key performance indicators, okay? What's the average spend per fan? What's the average response time? What's the average fan retention rate? All of these kind of things, they need to be tracked. If you want to make your chatting as much efficient as possible, then this is the only way you can do it, okay? So, also send me a message on Instagram and I will gladly send you this marketing sheet or this tracking sheet, what we are using for our creators, okay? Then, we've covered basically everything now, what you need to know. So, let's have a quick recap on what you need to actually, or what we actually spoke about. I forgot something to tell here. regarding the key performance indicators, the KPIs, also need to track is as well. For example, like I said, the reply time. Reply time is very important because, like I said also before, the faster you reply to your fans, the more you will actually close. Like I said, nobody wants to wait 5 or 10 minutes for a reply. Nobody wants to wait 10 minutes for the next pay-per-view. Nobody wants that. So a good indicator of a fast reply time is always everything under 1 minute 30. Everything what's above 1 minute 30 needs to be investigated. Whether maybe there are too many accounts, there's too much traffic, or you need to hire more people. But everything over 1 minute 30 has to be investigated. Very important. Then also the purchase rate. How much does your chatter actually sell? How much does he actually sell? This is very important. Okay, if he has under 50% purchase rate, then this is a warning signal. Everything or every chatter should have at least 60%. But the gold standard should be at least 70%. Means, for example, if he sent 100 pay-per-views and 70 of them are unlocked, then he has 70% unlock rate. This is pretty good. But you have only 50, then you have 20 pay-per-views that could have been sold. And let's say average of them are $10. Then it would be like $200 that he made less. And that's, if you sum, like, this doesn't sound like a lot, but if you sum this up, then over the time, it will be a lot of money that we're losing. So don't sleep on this. It's very, very important, okay? And also here, again, these are also very important key performance indicators you should definitely have a look at, okay? So now let's get back to the recap. So first of all, the most important thing is understand your audience. Because if you don't understand your audience, you will never actually be successful, and you will never actually get what you want, and you will never actually maximize your earnings. Because if you don't know what your audience actually wants, what their content preferences are, what their spending habits are, what their profiling, what their income is, then you will never have this advantage over all. So keep focus on the basics. So first of all, I covered all of the basics here in this video. Have the basics on your screen. Basics are, like, just to repeat it, the basics are understand your audience, understand what they want. Keep building rapport, build rapport, identify what type of customers are they. Are they customers that just want to sext? Are they customers that just want to have a conversation with? And so on and so on. Keep focus on the basics, very important. Then also customer lifetime value, that you're focusing on keeping your remaining fans instead of always acquiring new one. Yes, I get it. Having new fans is still the most important one. That's absolutely true. But also focus on giving your existing customers, because your existing customers will always give you most of the money. Also, do strategic engagement. Like I said, keep focus on getting a lot of people into the private DMs by having a proper profile. Go back to the chapter where I spoke about having a profile that actually converts. Because this is also part of the basics, and not everyone is doing that. Part of the basics is always having a great profile. So go back to this part where I spoke about this and implement all of that. Then I will give you my word, you will basically perform so much better. You will get more chats, you will get more high value, more high quality customers by just having a good and a high quality profile. High quality attracts high quality, okay? Then analyzing. Analyze, optimize. You have to analyze all the time. So if you don't have the time for that, then hire someone. Train someone who does that for you. If you're an agency, train someone. Hire someone that is doing this for you. If you are a creator, hire an agency, for example, because all of this, I think it's pretty difficult to handle this alone as a standalone creator. But if you are a creator and if you have already an agency, or if you have chatters already, then train them, teach them, show them this video. You can show this video to everyone in your agency. I think this is more than enough if you want to increase your chatting, if you want to almost triple your revenue by having the same amount of subscribers. Track KPIs. Try to improve it all the time. Try to optimize your scripts, because your chatting can be the best. Your chatting can be the best on the market. But if your product, like if your scripts are bad, then you can have the best chatting in the world, nobody will buy from you, or that everyone will ghost you after sending the first pay-per-view. So always try to analyze, optimize, and retain as many people as possible. Use this video as a game plan for 2026. I'm currently recording this on January 1st. Use this video as your personalized game plan, so you can start your OF journey, or you can improve your current OF journey, because I've never seen a value like this on YouTube ever before. This is like probably the longest video about chatting you will ever see on this platform. Okay, so, and by integrating all of this in this video, I will guarantee you will make money chatting, 100,000%. And if you don't do that, send me a message on Instagram and say I'm a little piece of shit, literally, because then I will make a new video for this. Okay, so then end of the video now. Thank you very much for watching, for being here until the end. This is over 1 hour long, and I hope it was very helpful for you and you have learned something new. If you need any helps in terms of that, you can always send me a message on Instagram. Like, my Instagram is in the description below, and you can, for everyone who watched until the end, I will also, I mentioned this or somewhere in the middle of the video, I will personally review your marketing profile, your OnlyFans profile. Whether you're a creator, whether you're an agency, I will review your marketing. I will give you a personalized game plan, how you can crush 2026, what you can do, what you need to improve in your marketing, what you need to improve in your chatting and everything. Just send me a message on Instagram and I will do it completely for free. Please, I don't sell any mentorships. I don't sell any courses. I don't do any of that. And also, I don't want to have insights of your model. I just want to help. I just want to give free value. There's so many fake coaches, so many fake gurus out there who don't know what they're talking about. And I want to make a change in this. So if you want your personalized free breakdown, then text me on Instagram with the words, or you don't have to text me any word. You can just text me and then I will personally review. You can send me as many creators as you want, as many profiles as you want. I will review your Instagram, I will review your TikTok, your YouTube, Reddit, everything what basically is about your OF profile. So please subscribe to this channel if this was helpful for you, if you actually found this helpful, and if you don't want to miss any more value on this channel, if you don't want to miss any more value in general, because I will be dropping way more value here on YouTube, then subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, share it with other agencies, share it with your other creator friends, whatever. My goal was purely to help you with this video, to help you getting more successful with chatting, because chatting is actually, a lot of people underestimate how much more you can actually bring out. Yes, a lot of people say, yeah, marketing is the most important one. Yes, I completely agree. Like, I would always focus on marketing first. But if you're making a lot of free fans, or if you're making a lot of paid fans, whatever, then your chatting matters. At one point, you will get so many more new customers that it is necessary to optimize your chatting, because then you will just lose tons of money. I've also helped a lot of creators in the past that had like $20,000 in subscription earnings and had like only $5,000 in messages. This is, for example, a potential missed 200K per month. And just by having a bad texting, you will just limit yourself. You will just limit your potential to be one of the greatest out there, and also to be in the top 100% of all of the creators on this platform. Okay, so I don't want to talk too much now. Thank you again for watching, and if you are interested in this it's completely for free, no strings attached, then please send me a message on Instagram, and then we will have a chat, and then I will send you your personalized video with everything included and with your personalized marketing plan, or even your chatting plan. Thank you for watching.